Hello. Good morning, Chiefs. Good to see everybody. It's actually afternoon, isn't it? Here on the East Coast. Sorry about the late start this morning, this afternoon. See, I'm so late, I think it's still morning. Won't go into the details, but Webinar Jam does a funky thing where it expires an ongoing webinar seemingly at random. So, whereas I thought the normal link would apply to today for whatever logic webinar Jam has about why to expire those seemingly ongoing registration forms, it is not. So I had to create a new one, which means that we have a tighter crowd than usual. But I'm thrilled that those of you who are here are here. So thanks for joining. Good to see Tanya, Bob, John. Hello, Melanie. And I'm sure some others will pop in as we, Marcin is here now. I imagine Ross will come by. And so let's keep it tight. If you guys want to chat about anything specific, I am happy to do that. Just give me a quick hello. Let me know you can see and hear me okay. Yep, there's Tanya, Marcin, yo. Good to see you guys. Okay, cool. So I thought today I like to kind of start with a little rant and just some things that are coming across my radar that I think might be valuable to you. And I will do that. But like I said, any questions or anything specific? Hey, Melanie, I am happy to address those. So I thought what I talk about real quick today was I don't want to start with a sad topic, but just to be genuine and what's kind of on my mind, I thought it might be worth just a quick moment of appreciation with with life. Because if you happen to see my email from Monday, we had a really tragic piece of news last weekend that a very close family friend had died suddenly a week ago tomorrow. Dude was riding his bike within a group of friends. He was an avid cyclist, and his heart just stopped. And, he crashed his bike, and there were some paramedics riding either in their group or nearby, who immediately realized what had happened and tried to resuscitate. And more paramedics came, and as I understand it, teams of people tried for an hour to keep him alive, and it just wasn't to be. He was gone. So, these things happen. Obviously, people die every day. And so often we get to kind of go through life in this little cocoon. Most of us probably aren't dealing with tragedy as a regular means of operation. And certainly there are places in the world where that is the norm, right? But it's easy to become detached from those kinds of things. And, this week, obviously, we've been up face to face with it and seeing what this family is going through. And it's sobering to be in John is the guy who passed away, in his world, knowing how much he did not plan to die. I know that might sound odd because none of us really plan to die, but there are circumstances where people sort of understand their imminent demise, right? And can prepare a little. This is a cat who ran his own company and had staff meetings this week. And so his phone is still on, and all kinds of alerts will come up on his phone, and his wife will see that, he would have had a staff meeting or a lunch meeting, and all these things that we all wake up every day. And as we run our lives and our businesses, we prepare to do. And I don't know, it just really has brought me face to face with a level of gratitude that, frankly, I don't know if you can achieve it unless you're faced with kind of these sort of sobering circumstances. And So I just thought it was worth, again, I don't want to be a downer here, but you know, I just, as much as I feel sad and concerned for this family, um, I feel an immense amount of gratitude for what I have, just every day that I get to be with my family and have a family, and also have you guys, have a Copy Chief family. It's a real privilege. It's a real privilege to wake up and do work that you love every day. And if you ever start to feel very frustrated by the process, or too burned out, just take a minute, step back, and just take a break, man, because burnout is a real thing, and stress is a real, um, a real, a real problem in a lot of people's lives. And sometimes you have just way more stress than you realize. So what, I guess my message here, if anything, is just to be grateful. I don't feel like you need me to tell you that. I don't know all of you is personal enough to ever impart unsolicited advice, but all I can tell you from my experience is that I don't consider myself somebody who walks around ungrateful at all, but I've never been more grateful for, what I have than this week. And so if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, or like things just start going your way, take a minute, like, book a massage, or go someplace quiet and tranquil, and, just kind of meditate for a little while. And all meditation really means is to just be still and be quiet, and like allow your body to just exhale for a little while. And, when you get in touch with your, sort of resting vibration, it helps you see where you are on the scale of stress, right? And sometimes we're so used to being stressed out that we don't realize where we are on this scale of burnout. And I bring up burnout because it's such a real factor for entrepreneurs and for freelancers and business owners, because so much of it just falls on us that, we don't have an opportunity to always have the help we need. And if you don't check in with yourself often enough to know where you are on the scale, burnout can happen. And I always remember what I always heard about burnout and thought, yeah, okay, so I'd stay in bed for a couple of days, or it'd be like having the flu or something, right? But then Carlton, in a private conversation, said to me once, he said, there's no guarantee that you come back from burnout. It's a very real thing. And that kind of shook me, and it was a wake up call for me. I never considered that it actually means you burned out, and you're not that you die, but that you mentally, psychologically cannot come back to what you were doing before and just carry on. Right. And so that's my message, in respect to John and his family. And tonight we have the viewing, and tomorrow's the funeral. And, our sons are best friends, and it's a heavy, heavy thing. And like I said, my response to it is to feel an immense amount of gratitude for everything I have. This ride that we're on as entrepreneurs and as business owners, it honestly is not about money. I totally get that money is crucial to succeeding in it and to having the lifestyle we desire. But what money ultimately is a choice multiplier. And I think that we should want to have as many choices available to us in our life as possible. The choice to spend the days how we want, the choice to work with the people we want, the choice to not work with people we don't want to work with, and not belong to clubs that we don't feel comfortable being in. And the more money you have, the more choice you get to make around those things. So be hungry, be motivated, but also be aware that no day is promised to you. And the more you take time to check in with yourself physically and mentally, the better off you'll be for the long haul. All right. So thank you for allowing me to share those thoughts And the second thing I wanted to talk about was just a little bit about, I guess, I'm kind of in this reflective mindset, and I thought it would be interesting to look back a little on some of the steps I've taken in my career, either purposefully or just like fortunate circumstances that have helped me get into the position I'm in now. And the reason I'm extra conscious of this today is because this morning I had a call from Dean Jackson. And most of you guys know Dean. He's someone that we all in this industry look up to for so many reasons. He couldn't be more connected in this business and in this world. And yet Dean is a very real guy, and he's accessible to anybody who wants to be in his world. And he's just a really impressive dude all the way around. And the reason I bring this up is because so on this call with me today that I had with Dean this morning, we were just catching up on different stuff. And he mentioned that he listens pretty consistently to my podcast, which I found very flattering. Dean was my first guest on the podcast, and he's listened all along. And so he said to me, he particularly enjoyed the episode with Andre Chaperone, and that he doesn't know Andre, and he kind of knows of him, but that episode really gave him a deeper understanding about who Andre is and what he does. And so he asked me to introduce him to Andre, right? And I thought, man, like what an honor that is, and what a significant example of, Dean is amazing, right? Yeah, Tanya met him in London. He's just, and that's Dean. This is a guy who doesn't have moods, essentially, right? He's just who he is all the time, and he truly loves marketing. His podcast couldn't be more aptly named because he just loves this stuff, and so he's always full of ideas and inspiration and case studies. So he asked me to introduce him to Andre, right? And I'm thinking, man, like what an honor that is for me. And what's interesting is I told Dean this. I met Andre at an I Love Marketing event, the first live event they had. And he laughed and he said, that's the difference between doing a 500 person seminar and doing a 12-person seminar, is that you don't get to meet anybody at the 500 person seminars, and so I just love the irony of that. Like I met him we were both drawn to Dean's event. That's where we met and became friends. And years later, Dean's asking me to introduce him to this Andre guy. And so what's significant about this, for me looking back, I'm like eternally humbled by this business and the success I've had and the relationships I've made, what John Carlton's done for me, just via our friendship and his support of me. What can I say, and so, but let's just look at sort of as a business positioning, what it means for me to be able to introduce Andre to Dean. At the very minimum, you can just imagine that those two guys are going to have an amazing conversation after I introduce them and they go off and get on the phone or whatever. At best, they'll, who knows, create amazing products together or remain lifelong friends and brainstorm and do all kinds of who knows what. These are both guys who love to do projects with other people who inspire them. So it's very real possibility that there could be a Dean Jackson, Andre Chaperone entity at some point, right? But regardless, whatever happens, I get to be a part of that history, right? I'm the cat that Dean reached out to and said, hey, would you, can I lean on our friendship for you to create a new one for me? And that's such a powerful thing to be sort of in that loop, right? And again, this is nothing like, don't want this to sound like name dropping or bragging or something, because clearly I'm in awe of it as much as I'm in tune with it. And I just look at the process of how I ended up in this situation. It's just a couple of key moves that I made and decisions I made that have brought me here. And it really comes down to this. We all study hard in this business, right? I mean, you guys all know Dean, and sure you could cite many of his work and his teachings and philosophies. And Tanya, you went out of your way to meet him. Maybe you went to his mastermind, his blueprint, his breakthrough, or maybe you just met him later, whatever. And that's how I was. He was just somebody that I admired. I did meet him personally the first time I met John. Dean was there as well, but I didn't talk to Dean for years after that. And so I finally decided Dean was somebody I needed to learn from. And so I invested in his, the first ever DNA blueprint breakthrough that he did over in Orlando. And what's funny is we created a product and an offer that weekend. You did, Tanya. Awesome. Yeah. So in the very first one he ever did, I want to say it was 2010, maybe 11. No, gosh, sooner than that. Maybe it was 12. But anyway, he still asked me, are you ever going to do anything? Because it's perfect. It's a syndicatable marketing plan. And I said, Dean, I'm just so in love with teaching and coaching and creating different trainings right now that the only way that I would likely do it is if I did it as a case study, as a training, because I'm not as motivated by just creating it for the money. And he had a great idea. He said, how cool would that be to do a serial podcast based on creating a syndicatable marketing plan? So now that's an idea that excites me. It's like, for me, I have to create almost like an entertainment vehicle or an education vehicle in order to motivate me to do the work so that we'll have content for the show. Right. And so that's just something I've been really like learning about myself, is that for me, it's about the teaching. That's what inspires me. And so anyway, that was the first step for me of sort of breaking out and becoming more of a name in the industry, was just learning from Dean, just being in that room and who I was exposed to in that, obviously the people I've met through John, and then invest in following Dean's advice to create the 60-second sales hook, and then following Shramko's advice, who I invested in his coaching to create Copy Chief, and now creating private, really intensive coaching groups, which is my latest passion. And people like John is in the group, and couldn't be more excited about what we're about to start together. And so it's there is sort of a process to it. And I guess my message here is that if you're, I guess this is the sort of like unannounced theme today, is if you're feeling stuck or if you're feeling frustrated, look around and go, who's doing what I want to do, right? Like who's got the life I want, who's got the business I want, or who's got the income, like whatever part of it you're most motivated to mimic. Find somebody who seems to be in tune with, or it just could be the way they market. But what I don't think is as valuable is, like, it's not about collecting data, right? It's how many different trainings and courses do we all have sitting around on our hard drive? Yeah, I have boxes of things that I haven't even opened. And I know that it could be life-changing, but where am I going to find the week to go through it or whatever? And I think it's more about, like, get in a room with the person that you really want to learn from and model. Because what I found is when I do that, that's sort of the only setting that they really let loose. If there's it needs to be a private group, like a high-level mastermind, or a in-person mastermind, like Dean does with the breakthrough. Like Tanya, I'd love to hear from you, like what you took away from the breakthrough with Dean. I'm sure it was, like what was different than you expected, and I'd love to hear if you came away with a sort of with a plan, like a clear marketing plan. You want to come on camera with me, and we can rap about Dean a little bit. It's up to you, but I think it'd be fun to compare notes. But anyway, that's sort of the yeah. Cesare says Napoleon Hill once said that if you're in a tough situation, just go help someone else. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's so that's a great point. Like teaching, right? Like, if you feel trapped or you're not sure what to do, I can't talk enough about teaching and coaching and and that's why when I see you guys in Copy Chief the way you do, many of you on this call, John, certainly Tanya, Melanie, Cesare, I know you've been very active. Man, going in and helping people out and sharing your experience and coaching people and encouraging people. I don't know, it's just, there's magic to it. There's just magic to it. And okay, awesome, Tanya. I'm gonna invite you on. And I think we learned yesterday that you got to be logged in with Gmail to make this work. So hopefully that'll work for you. But Cesare, couldn't agree more, brother. And of course, Napoleon Hill, like what better between Napoleon Hill and Jim Rohn. I was talking yesterday with somebody about Jim Rohn. Hey, there's Tanya. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
So good to meet you. Hello. This is my favorite thing. I love coming right into your office, your living room there, wherever you are.
Oh, it's my haircut.
Wonderful.
Camera ready.
Is it new? Is that a new do?
No. I wasn't planning to show my face to
That's
everybody.
The best part. That's the best part, is that it's just raw. You look wonderful. And where are you right now?
I'm at home in my flat in London.
Cool. And you live with family there, or you live alone?
No, I live alone. I share a flat with a flatmate, but she's not here right now, so
cool.
I can do whatever I want.
I love it. Run around naked, but as soon as we hang up.
Okay.
I used to love having roommates.
Well, you don't know. Maybe I don't wear anything.
That's true. Maybe you're following the whole plan. You also
exactly.
wear pants. We all know. I should warn you guys. I am wearing MeUndies right now. So who knows if there won't be a reveal at some point in this. I'll go from sadness and death and appreciation to showing you my underpants once again. But but so nice to meet you, Tanya. And yeah, so tell me about Dean and what motivated you to join the breakthrough, and what'd you take away from it?
Well, because since November 2014, when I discovered I Love Marketing, I just become, I think, the most enthusiastic fan of Dean, and Joe Polish as well. But Dean was the one that I liked best from the duo.
Joe's an asshole.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. No. He's a good guy, but they're very different personalities.
Yeah. And when I heard that he's coming to London, I said, well, I have to take it. I mean, it's now or never. If I don't go, I will probably never meet him. And the only thing is that when I went there, I wasn't so sure yet I want to switch to marketing and copywriting. So I went there with this idea to continue with my software business. So with the plan that we came there, it's good, but not anymore in the state I'm now. Because now I want to go away from software into direct response copywriting. Yeah. But it was the best 3 days I had in this year.
Yeah, isn't it great? I mean, what always amazes me about, I've probably been in 4 or 5 different 3-day events with Dean in small groups like that. And every single time, it feels like you're moving at the most mellow pace in the world, right? Because that's just Dean and that's his vibe. And he could be in the middle of teaching something, and if somebody asks a question, he'll have a whole sidebar to talk maybe through what that person said. It's never just a quick, yeah, great, and then gets back to it. Like, you know, and you're kind of going on the first morning, you're going, there's no way we'll get through any of this material the way and then somehow by the end of that day, you've covered an amazing amount of material. And then the next day you kind of start to put an action plan together. And by the third day you're going, I'm full. I couldn't eat anymore.
Yeah, but you don't want to leave because you want this to continue.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what kind of plan did you come away with?
Well, my plan was to become like a gatekeeper, a go-to guy for startups that are looking for investment and for angel investors or VCs that are looking to invest into startups. So I would be the one that would look into the technicalities of the code base and decide, this startup is about to crash, this one is good. So it was a very good idea, but I just want to go away from software right now.
Okay, so. you're burned out. You're burned out on tech. Yeah. And that how long have you been working in it?
In software, it's 15, 16 years, probably. Yeah, 15 years.
Okay, yeah, so that's understandable. Yeah, cool. Well, you know, we talked yesterday about your idea, this 100-day challenge.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see the reply.
I think it's really cool, and yeah, I think really the only thing you're missing from it is the sharing some of the tactics you plan to employ, right? To get in front of clients. And I think it's a really great idea, it's particularly for Inside Copy Chief, because there's so many people inside of there who want to do that very thing. And a lot of us go, where do I start? I know, you know, when I started 10 years ago, I didn't know how to get a client. You know, I lingered in student mode for far too long just because it just felt like a total mystery to me. Like, where would I even meet somebody who would want to pay me to do what I do? And then even when I did find a forum similar to Copy Chief, I was very intimidated to put myself out there, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing for me as well. It took me so long to actually speak to other people what I want, like to say, no, I want to go into copywriting. Because, you know, when you are known for something, then to go in another direction, it's very...
Yeah. And people question you and they go, you got a good thing. Why would you want to switch? It's crazy. Do what you do, Tanya. Yeah. Well, good for you, because that's why it takes courage, you know, and once you find some success a couple of years from now, those same people are going to come to you and go, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? And you're like, well, I started by not listening to you.
Exactly.
That's how I did it. Good for you. Awesome. Well, you know, keep us updated on how you plan to execute that.
Okay, I will.
I'm happy to support that. And I think it'll be a really fun ride. So
cool.
Well, thanks for joining. Any other questions or anything today I can help you with?
No, I think you answered yesterday. So I'm just...
Okay. All right, great. So the one thing I have not figured out about inviting people on is how to let you off. So do you see a control in front of you? Help me with this.
Well, I see a black screen and then X in the corner. Maybe if I push that.
Does it look like hitting X will eject you from the entire Hangout or just being on screen?
I have no idea. I can try.
Yeah, do it. And let's see what happens.
Wait a second. I'm still on?
Yep, you're still on.
Okay, so there was a wrong.
That's not it. Let's just keep hitting buttons. All right, because here's what I see on my end. I have a thing that says eject, and
I don't, because I'm now in the Google interface.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you are? Okay. So I have a couple options here. I want to learn this, you know, because I keep fearing that somebody's nice enough to come on and then I'm booting them out of the entire Hangout by hitting eject. So I'm going to hit hide from broadcast and let's see what that does.
Okay.
So, yeah. So now you're still here, but I can't see you. Isn't that weird? That's what happened the first time. Now I can't.
Yeah, that's why I want to go away from software, because
right, because of stuff like this, right? Yeah, eject. It's a terrible word, isn't it? Eject. That's what I'm thinking. Like that can't be a good result. Sorry, but I am now going to eject you, and
Okay.
let us know in the chat if you're still here. And if you do get booted, maybe you can log back in with the registration or something, right? Hopefully.
Okay.
So, good luck.
Okay.
I hope to see you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. So now she's ejected from being on camera. Let's see if she's still with us. Are you still with us, Tanya? No, I bet I booted her for good. Hey, Angie, what's up, girl? Yeah, Cesare said Tanya will make it no problem. She's cheating because she's starting out with a great mindset. Ain't that the truth? Man, so many people got to just battle through themselves first, right? I think we lost Tanya. That's terrible. You're back. Okay, so did you have to log back in? Well, I gotta look this up, figure out how to do this right. All right, we got some new people joining. Thanks, guys, for finding the link that I didn't have correct. Wardy's here. Hey, Wardy, how are you? I'm so honored that you spend these days with us. I know how super busy everyone is. Melanie's here too. It's all in the family. Angie just joined us. All right, I love talking to you guys. Anybody else want to come on and say hello? And anybody have a thought of the week to share or anything like that? I'd love to just chat a little bit. I've kind of shared my two big things that were on my mind already. So yeah, you had to log back in. Okay, so I got to figure out how to let people off camera without booting them from the thing. Eject. Hi, Wardy. Yeah, that's so kind. Okay, cool. So look, I don't like to let these go on just to do it. I try to keep them around a half hour, but again, if anybody has a question or anything else you'd like to talk about that feels relevant, let's do that. Otherwise, I'll cut it off. Thank you I know a lot of you have watched the presentation from last week. I'll remind you that that's up. And I also, Wardy and Melanie, you guys remember this, that I swear more in this presentation than I typically do. So I need to put a warning. I like to put a warning up when that's the case, because I try not to curse too often, just because I think there's ways around it. And, like with the podcast, for instance, I hate to establish that it's a safe show to have on in the car. Maybe if your kids are there or something, and all of a sudden somebody just starts letting it rip. But I could tell you on what I did last week, or that most recent one, I for whatever reason was pretty loose with the language. So know that going in. But otherwise, I'd love for you guys to watch it, because I was really inspired in that moment, and I think it came out pretty well. Oh, really, Cesar? Yeah, you love the non-interview podcast. Okay, cool. Because I have to be honest, those are the ones that have been challenging me time-wise to get done. And I really enjoy that there's two different modes to the show. So I appreciate you saying that, because it kind of reinvigorates me too. I just got to get ahead of them. I got to get like 5 in the can. And what I got to do is, I'm doing the same thing we all do, is like I'm overthinking what the content should be. And honestly, I should just take a question that I have reams of them from surveys we've done and just answer a question, right? That would be plenty. So, so cool. Thank you, Melanie. The swearing Kev doll. Okay, Angie's got a question. We're getting a transition from full-time employee to full-time freelance. Sure, let her rip. You want to come on, Angie? I'd love to have you on. You said you're going to start something soon. What does that mean? Regarding the transition. Let me know if you want to come on, Angie, and if not, clarify what you mean by you're going to start something soon. You want to be starting something. You got to be starting something. By the way, Melanie showed me what a belly roll or a body roll is in salsa dancing, and I've been working on it nonstop for a couple of days now, and it's not going very well. But I'm not going to quit on performing a really great body role. Angie says, I can tell you've written out your thoughts in those podcasts. And I know that's a pretty Herculean effort. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. Here's all that is it's interesting. A lot of that content, as you may know, if you've been following me for a while, is it's just old blog articles. And some of them I've reworked a little bit, and some of them I'm just reading straight from the original article, because for years I was writing on the Copywriter's Edge, and there was some really good stuff, and I know it hasn't been exposed to this new audience, right? And so I kind of struggle with, like, man, I don't want to sound like I'm reading, but I want to be genuine. What's the word I'm looking for? I want to sort of honor the tone of how it was written, because I think that's the best version of it, right? So I am reading it, and it still seems to resonate. So that's cool. So what I think I want to do for those is I do want to write them out and have them formed as much as possible, but yet still feel really in the moment. Okay, cool. Yeah, Angie, you can't get on camera. Okay. So, but do you have something to, kid? I know. Come on, Angie. If you have a specific question, I'm happy to answer it, or just didn't get what you meant by you. You said you're about to start something, and I'm excited to hear more about it. So, maybe evasive. Yeah, but if you're, oh, you can come on. Oh, cool. I just thought you were saying, yeah. I don't care about the office. All right. We're going to get Angie. How exciting. This is great. Boy, I wish I could sing like Angie. Have you guys heard Angie sing? We'll have to get a link to, yes. There she is, rocking the house. Hey, girl, what's up? Oh, you're muted. Your mic's muted. Can you go into settings there? Do you see them at the top? There's like a little gear. I wonder if I can. Yep, there you go.
All right. Is it unmuted?
Yep, it's unmuted.
Awesome. Well, this wasn't what I was expecting to do today.
I know. I love it. That's the best part of it. It's like, okay, I guess I'll come on.
Sure.
It's more charming that way.
My fancy door that keeps people out of my cube.
Oh, no, I wanted that. Oh, yeah. This is the oh, that's what you did. You put a door up. That's hilarious. Mm-hmm. So nobody else has that. Everybody else is just open to the world. Oh, you froze up.
Everybody was going to follow suit, but I wound up being the only one to do it.
It's hilarious.
But I mean, to be fair, we put a whiteboard on the back of it and write down ideas. And then on the other side is a magnetic board with the magnetic words. People leave me all kinds of crazy poems all the time.
That's great. I love those things. I could get lost for an hour. Like if I'm at a party and somebody has those magnetic words on the fridge, that I'll just be there all night, standing there writing crazy stuff and musing the hell. So,
that's the way to do it.
Cool. So tell me what you got going on.
Well, the interesting thing was, yesterday was a rough day, and I don't want to go into too much detail, but it did inspire a blog post idea. I'll pitch you another one.
Okay.
That risk is always there, and you really can never reverse that risk, whether you're full-time employed, whether you're a freelancer, and kind of differentiating what risks are worth it. Yesterday, something pretty big happened in our department that left a lot of people unhappy. And like I said, not too much detail, but there's some fear there. And so even full-time employment, a lot of you know that I am a full-time copywriter, is not a guaranteed thing. So, you always have to decide what's worth it for you. And so, as I mentioned in the chat, I'm looking to change that. I'll probably start a thread about it and see how I can transition. And it's difficult because I have a 45-minute commute each way, which I listen to podcasts while I'm doing that. Always keep the learning up whenever you can.
That's it.
But yeah, it'll probably be about managing time and figuring out how to get clients. And, you know, I responded to my blog post saying that I believe honesty is the best policy. So, you know, it would be finding clients that are cool with working with someone that works full time.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be the challenge.
Yeah, because I know that's what you want. You like to be working with one client. You're looking to be on a team and do all those things. You're not looking to have a bunch of clients and having to make that a part of your business is like landing, you know, getting work, right?
I do prefer one at a time, but I don't have a problem juggling multiple projects. I mean, if I could move, it's a big iMac monitor. If I could move this and show you all of the projects that are over, I juggle things pretty constantly, so that's not a problem. But
right, cool, awesome. Well, you know, we'll have to hear more. Well, you share what you want, but I'll be interested to see the thread. But sometimes fate intervenes, man. And, you know, like Ross, I don't know how much of this he shared recently, but that happened to him a couple months ago. You know, he had like a 6-month plan to try to transition into full-time freelance, and life stepped in and went, nope, it's actually tomorrow. And he's on fire. He couldn't be more thrilled, but it's the scariest thing in the world when it first happens. And so I personally have no doubt that you'll succeed beyond your dreams when that situation occurs. But I also know that you're pretty plugged into the world you're in, and you're highly successful in it. So it, you know, you have some great options.
Putting it out there. Yeah, I mean, I think it took me way too long to realize it, but now that I know that, it's half the battle is talking to people and saying, this is what I want. You know, are you interested? Got something for me?
Yeah. Set the intention. Like I like to say that first step is to visualize. Like we have to buy in first so that everybody else can follow. If people hear uncertainty or hesitation in your voice about what it is you want to be doing, they're going to sense that. And so much of it is just exuding confidence, not cockiness, but confidence. And that's a huge part of the battle.
Well, and that's what I would say to beginners. So many of my stories are floating around the internet. I've done like everything crazy, everything wrong. I got one of my first clients while on a date. That was a weird story. And then you never know who does what and who has what kind of interest. My guitarist is a VP of marketing for a really big name company. And when I told him what was happening yesterday, he was like, yeah, let's talk. I might have something for you. So put it out there is the first step. So I think I'll further putting it out there with a thread that just kind of chronicles the journey and helps me plan.
Love it. Awesome. Cool. Well, you know, I'm here for you if I can be of help. Okay.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Well, it's great having you on. I won't ask you to sing because you're at work, but you know, man, when we have the Copy Chief live event, you have to be there. And because there's going to be live band karaoke, like that's my fantasy for it. Right. And I think there's so many musicians in Copy Chief that we could probably just have a random band, you know, like it built just from people who attend. But
so do we have all our bases covered? Do we have a drummer?
I don't know about a drummer. I know we have many guitarists. We got Weeby. What's his first name? God, I can't think of his name now. First name, but he toured with Bachman Turner Overdrive, right? So he's a guitarist, singer. You're a singer.
Somebody to play the triangle.
I'm gonna play tambourine. I'm on tambourine. I got that covered. Okay. I've been working. I got the wrist and I got the hip. I got the hip too. So
yeah, that's the complicated one.
Yeah, you got it, and you got to know exactly when to switch. You know, you can't be. So, and I got a body roll. I've been working on my body roll, so I'm gonna body roll and shake the tambourine at the same time.
Well, the demo's in my progress journal if you do want to hear me sing, but I'm not going to do it live today.
Your progress journal. Oh, it was awesome. I loved listening to it. You got that bluesy power voice.
Thank you very much.
Love it. Cool. All right. So because I don't know any other way, I'm going to eject you now.
Awesome.
Please come back, but we're gonna wrap up. So it was great having you on. Great talking to you again, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Cool. Why is that so fun? Marston's a drummer. Ah! All right. Wow. Marston's a drummer. I love it. Perfect, man. So we just need a bass player. Who's a bass player? Just about probably most guitarists can play some form of bass. So I love it. Oh, there's okay, cool. There's are you seeing yourself, Angie? That's hilarious. Oh, because it's not in real time. That's so funny. You're about to get ejected, by the way. I don't want to ruin the surprise. Ejection purgatory. Yeah. Cesare can play the gong. That's hilarious. Yeah, like John Bonham. That's like when I air drum to Led Zeppelin. You got to get the gong in. Cool. All right, we got a band. That would be perfect, John. Drop a gong sound whenever we eject somebody. Gong. That's great. All right, guys. Well, this was fun. I want to respect everyone's time. We're almost at an hour here. But, man, I'm loving these. Just get more fun every week having everybody on. Quick note, little housekeeping since, again, can't count on Webinar Jam 2. I got to learn to manipulate it so it lets people in. But next Friday is watch for an announcement because here's what's happening. So this week, Thursday, but then Friday we go to Orlando because my friend Billy just opened his pizzeria in Orlando, him and his brother Brian Gardell. And so we're going to the grand opening of their restaurant. And so I don't know that we'll have a Chief Chat next week. There's a little gap in there that I might be able to make it happen, but probably not next week. And then the following week, I'll be in AWAI hanging out with my man, John Belkowitz, and Melanie Saladino will be in the house, and hopefully some other Chiefs. I think Taylor might be going. So who knows? What I'd love to make happen is a Chief Chat where I've got a bunch of us in the room, literally in the room with me, right? Like maybe we can get, who knows? I mean, other guys like Carlton and Deutsch and I just talked to Dean this morning and he said he's coming up Thursday just to see everybody. So I don't know. I'll have definitely some cool stories to share, and I'm going to try to plan to do one from Delray that Thursday. So Friday. So just watch for announcements on Chief Chats this month because I've got a lot of travel and stuff and I hate leaving you guys not knowing. So I'll do my best to stay on top of those and make sure it's all happening. So we're putting the band back together for the first time ever. That should be our name. The first time ever band reunion. All right. Love you guys and have a fantastic weekend. I'll be thinking of you and I will see you guys again in the threads later on today, in fact. So thanks for being here. Always a good time and we'll talk soon. Bye.